What's going down, everybody? It's your boy, that guy Mile High, tuning back in for another reaction. This time we got cops arresting an ATF agent and getting sued. We got to just figure out how this all transpired and how this goes down. And one, I didn't even know that you couldn't. I didn't realize that ATF members, or I didn't realize they could not get arrested. So, anyways, let's go ahead and give a shout out to all the members real quick before we do that. We got Manly, we got Sniper, we got Trey 420, Driver Thoughts, Ryan Parks, Kara or Kara, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get it right one of these days. Please, you can just put the pronunciation in in some comments, and I'll see it, and I'll know better. You know what I mean? Marie, Carrie, Mr. Pay It Forward, Happy Chick, Epic Service, Lynn Willow, Jamal, Jeffrey, Hologirl, Taylor, Funny Farm, Jordan, Christy, Hollowboy, Marla, Diesel, Nick, Craving Insane, Nicole, Aaron, Mama Dukes, Robin Lynn, Amy Jane Doe, Liz, Nugget, My Hood Life, and Gary Willis. Gang, gang, gang. You dig what I'm saying? Okay. If you want to get a shout out on all the videos, all the lives, take advantage of some perks, think about hitting that join button down below and join today. If not, just do it the free 99 way and subscribe and hit the bell notification and, help us hit 100K someday. You dig what I'm saying? All right. Then that rhymed. That was nice. That was nice. Anyways, let's hit that full screen. Shout out to Audit. I'm pretty sure is the channel that this came from. And yeah, let's see what happened. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers federal jurisdiction, the ATF, and warrantless seizures, and comes to us from Buckeye Auditing and Transparency's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we dive into the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Surfshark. Surfshark is a premier VPN service.
Shout out to your sponsorship, but we're trying to get on with the video. All right.
Thanks again to Surfshark for sponsoring this episode. On July 7th, 2020, ATF agent James Burke went to a home in Columbus, Ohio to retrieve a weapon from an individual who was not permitted to have a firearm. Agent Burke knocked on the door, but the individual inside the home refused to open it and called 911 instead. Despite the fact that the caller read the dispatcher Agent Burke's badge number, officers Joseph Fahey and Kevin Winchell of the Columbus Division of Police were dispatched to investigate the situation as an attempted break-in.
Hey, turn around, let me see your hands. Turn around, let me see your hands. Okay, let me see your hands. I need to see some ID. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Get on the ground.
Bruh.
Get on the ground now.
I'm a federal agent.
917-110-3.
I'm a federal agent.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground. I'm a federal agent.
Why wouldn't you show me your ID when I got here? Don't move
You
forward.
didn't even... What? You didn't even give him a chance. You walked up on him and said, yo, let me see your hands. And he turned around and said, I'm a federal agent. And then you pulled your gun out on him like, what? What are you talking about?
Ask for it.
He is at 3359.
Get on the ground. We'll figure it out.
Drive on that 10-8.
Not getting on the ground.
Well, then stay where you're at.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Fine. Why do you got to make this harder than it is?
Listen, I'm not getting on.
I have no problem making this.
I just want to see if anybody from 3 Precinct can respond as well.
Bruh, this is why they got sued. This cop's an idiot.
I'm not overreacting. We got a call that someone's impersonating a police officer out here who doesn't have ID.
No kidding, because she doesn't want to open it.
Okay, get on the ground so I can find out who you are.
It ain't happening.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Although Agent Burke repeatedly states that he is a federal agent, Officer Fahey continues to order him to get on the ground.
Right.
While the interplay between the jurisdiction and authority of federal and local law enforcement...
Right, bruh. Local is not always gonna win. 90% of local only wins when the feds say you can. Let's be real. The feds trump everything. They let states get away with shit. They let them have certain powers. If the feds want to do what the fuck they want to do, they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna stop the FBI. You ain't stopping the CIA. You ain't stopping the Secret Service. You ain't stopping ATF. You ain't stopping these niggas. You know what I mean? They're gonna do what the fuck they want to do. Fuck your jurisdiction, bro. You have no jurisdiction over the feds. The fuck?
Is complicated. In general, local law enforcement has the authority to issue lawful orders to federal agents when necessary to complete their duties. In the U.S., the authority of state, county, and local police departments is established by what is known as territorial jurisdiction. This means that, in most situations, a local police officer only has the authority to enforce criminal laws within their own city. But as long as they are within their jurisdiction, they can enforce every type of criminal law. For example, Section 737.11 of the Ohio Revised
Let's
Code,
be real,
which would
this
apply
shit
to
is not
Officer
being followed
Fahey,
at
states
all.
that municipal police officers have the authority to enforce.
The reality is this cop did not know any of this shit prior to this fucking situation. He learned about this while he was going through court and being sued. He was just being an overzealous cop who was just like, nope, fuck what you're talking about. Get on the ground. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, the dude had paperwork and everything. Like, why'd you have to come walking up like super hostile? Like, you know what I mean? You know, that's not how you do it. That's not
All
how
municipal ordinances, as well as,
this whole
quote,
situation
all criminal laws
bad.
of the state and the United States. Federal law enforcement agencies, on the other hand, have jurisdiction throughout the United States, but
Yep.
they typically do not have a general grant of authority to enforce all laws. Rather, federal law enforcement agencies are granted authority by Congress through the United States Code, and most are limited to investigating matters that are within federal jurisdiction. While states have a general police power to pass laws for the welfare of their people, the federal government can only create laws regarding certain subjects that are listed in the Constitution, such
Yeah,
as
whatever.
regulating interstate commerce
These
and
niggas
providing
will
for the
come
punishment
kick your
of
shit in
counterfeiting
when they
money.
feel like
These
it.
powers are often referred to as the enumerated powers of the federal government.
That shit
Therefore,
sounds
both
nice.
Agent Burke and Officer Fahey were operating within their jurisdiction throughout this incident. But without more information about the underlying situation, it is unclear whether a court would conclude that Officer Fahey's commands constituted lawful
Right.
orders.
Do you
It's
finally
not.
think I'm a police officer or something? What the heck's the matter with you? Who do you think you are?
Chopper
Get on the
on
ground!
I'm not getting out of
Chopper things.
I'm not
To
getting
9170, pulling up.
I got my ID.
Do not reach for your waist! Keep your hands up!
Dude, why would I have an old lady?
Get your hands up!
Sir!
Get on the ground!
Face down, on the ground. Face down now! Face down!
You guys are making a big mistake.
You are the one making the mistake!
Settle down. Face down now. All the way down. All the way.
Once Officer Winchell
Wow.
arrives on the scene, Agent Burke decides to comply with the commands of the officers and gets on the ground. While attempting to place Agent Burke
This
into
shit is
handcuffs,
wild.
Officer Fahey deploys his taser, and after being stunned, Agent Burke surrenders to the officers.
Sir, I'm just trying to get my copy.
Just get in the car!
Y'all ain't
Why would you
searched
make
him?
us do this?
I didn't want you to. I wanted that. Wait.
No, you knew what you
Sir,
were doing.
sir, calm down.
Relax.
Sir, hey, guys, please, just talk to me for 1 second, please.
Get in the car,
No,
we'll
wait.
talk later.
Sir, wait.
You had your chance.
No, I was trying to give you my creds. You didn't
No,
let me show
you
them
never
to you.
once tried.
Yes, he
Get in the
did.
car.
You never
wait,
fucking
now.
asked him. This is why they got sued,
Wait, I gotta
bro.
breathe. Okay, sir, let me breathe.
Sit down and breathe.
Let me breathe.
This is why they
I
got
have a
sued
medical
because
We're
they
gonna get
used
air. Get
super
your legs in.
excessive force.
Get your
in my
legs in, we're
opinion.
closing this door.
In my opinion,
Sir,
this
get your
shit is
legs in.
fucking
I need
way
air.
overboard.
Sir, please, call an ambulance. I'm asking for an
You
ambulance.
got a medic coming. Get in the car.
Sir, I don't need the medic. The taser didn't bother
You
me.
just said call an ambulance. We don't need
I-
a
Yeah, now you don't want one. Get in the
all the way
car.
in the car. Get all
Sir,
the way
I
in.
I'll go
can't
around,
breathe.
I'll go around.
Wait, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, if you got Dublin cars close, keep them.
The officers attempt to place Agent Burke into their patrol vehicle, but he verbally and physically resists, prompting the officers to force him into the back of the cruiser.
Because this shit is wild, bro.
Please, sir.
If you are a real police officer, you ought to be ashamed of
I
yourself.
was trying to give you my creds.
We got him in the car.
Copy, Dublin at scene.
He might even be a real cop, but he wouldn't tell us.
everything
Wouldn't
looks fine.
wouldn't
No,
do
he's
anything.
not a
Get
real
on the
cop. He's
ground. I
a
mean,
federal
what's the-
agent. Fuck this cop shit that you keep talking about. He told you I'm a federal agent. And you had no regard. You disregarded all of that shit.
Well, that's what we thought, but then he wouldn't get in the car.
Trying to get into his house.
If he is an actual police officer, he ought to be ashamed of himself.
No, you.
You're not. You're right. You're not. Yeah.
No, you ought to be ashamed. You probably don't have a
No,
job
you
after
screwed up,
this
you
to
bet.
be 100% honest with you.
First thing he should have had his badges out when I got here. Wouldn't get on the ground, wouldn't comply with anything. Whenever the sergeant gets here, we'll call his supervisor. Yep, it's disappointing. Dude, you saw how he was. He wouldn't comply.
No, this is, bro. This is why they got sued.
No, you never. No.
100%.
It's all on
You guys
video.
are bad.
Just let him yell.
Yeah, we had to use the taser, just a drive stun.
Okay.
But he's got a medic. He says he's got some condition. He may even really be a police officer. He's got a badge, but he wouldn't do anything, wouldn't get on the ground. I told him over and over to get on the ground. He wouldn't
Okay.
comply
Because
with
he's a
anything. We had to
fucking
tase
police
him.
officer. He's a
Alright.
federal
Followed us the whole
agent. That's
time.
why. Y'all are
Wouldn't get in the
dumb.
car.
Watch when the
If
sergeant.
he is a real
when
police officer-
Lieutenant right here,
No, we're not.
Okay.
when she realizes that
I
they
do that.
fucking just
Yeah.
arrested a fucking
Yeah.
ATF agent, she's about
So
to
his
be like,
supervisor is
oh,
going to need to come to scene.
nah.
after the way he acted. It's all on video.
He's got a good looking back. He's got a good looking back.
He very well may be. But you know what? When a Columbus police officer, yeah.
Buddy, you're good. Don't worry about it.
I know. He remarked it, he said over and over, I'm not getting on the ground. I will not. I'm like, okay.
That's not how this works.
I said, you obviously don't know what's going on then. If he's here to work a warrant by himself, there's something strange about that too.
Holy shit.
Something about it. I got info her wife, her husband bought a shotgun or something. He was here to follow up on some shotgun purchase.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an NFTA or I don't know.
Who knows?
Here, the Columbus officers remark that Agent Burke was allegedly at the location to follow up on the purchase of a shotgun, which is a common task for an ATF agent. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, known as the ATF for short, is a law enforcement agency within the Department of Justice that, according to Section 599A of Title 28 of the U.S. Code, is responsible for investigating, quote, criminal and regulatory violations of the federal firearms, explosives, arson, alcohol, and tobacco smuggling laws. Under Section 3051 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, ATF agents have the authority to, quote, make seizures of property subject to forfeiture to the United States, which, according to Section 924 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code, includes illegally possessed firearms. In fact, as the Wall Street Journal reported in 2019, ATF agents are regularly involved in retrieving weapons from individuals who were sold firearms when they should have not been permitted to purchase one due to their background check. These delayed denials occur when, because of backlogs in the federal background check system, individuals are sold firearms before their background check is completed, as the sale is legally permitted to proceed after 3 business days, even if the check is not finished. If the FBI, which performs the background checks, determines that an individual should not have been sold a firearm once the check is completed, the delayed denial is referred to the ATF to track down and seize the weapon. In 2017 alone, the ATF was responsible for handling about 6,000 of these seizures, and a delayed denial is only one of the reasons that an ATF agent can confiscate weapons. While it is uncertain whether Agent Burke was pursuing a delayed denial or was following up on another firearm issue, it is clear that Agent Burke was performing a routine duty in his role as an ATF special agent.
Are you guys the ones that originally called?
Yeah.
Okay. What did he say to you when he was talking to you?
I have to open the door because he's a police. I tell him I can't open the door because my husband...
Our officers on edge, bro. We were finally able to get
he said, you have to open the door. I tell him, I'm sorry, I can't. Stay with my kids. My kids start crying because they're afraid. And I tell him,
Did he ever try and break the door or anything like that?
Yes, he is still knock and he say, I will stay here until...
Him knocking is not him trying to break the door out of here.
Okay.
Look, these cops are now looking
There's a chance the sergeant might want to talk to you, so thank you very much. Okay.
There's no thank you. You just literally stopped a federal agent.
The complainant essentially admits to the Columbus officers that she refused to open the door for Agent Burke despite the fact that she was informed that he was a federal officer. In general, citizens are under no obligation to open their doors to members of law enforcement without a warrant, and this remains true in this situation. Although Agent Burke was at the home to retrieve a shotgun from a citizen who was not legally allowed to own a firearm, it is likely that a court would conclude that the citizen did not have to open the door or surrender the firearm if Agent Burke did not have a warrant. In the 1958 case of Jones versus United States, the Supreme Court explained that, quote, it is settled doctrine that probable cause for belief that...
There was no, at any point in this, did you walk up and see him kicking the door? Not one time did she say he kicked the door or he was trying to bust in. No, he just kept knocking. He was just knocking, announcing who he was. Like,
certain articles subject to seizure are in a dwelling cannot of itself justify a search without a warrant. Were federal officers free to search without a warrant merely upon probable cause to believe that certain articles were within a home, the provisions of the Fourth Amendment would become empty phrases, and the protection it affords largely nullified. Similarly, in the 1980 case of Payton versus New York, the Supreme Court stated that, quote, it is a basic principle of Fourth Amendment law that searches and seizures inside a home without a warrant are presumptively unreasonable, absent exigent circumstances. A warrantless entry to search for weapons or contraband is unconstitutional, even when a felony has been committed and there is probable cause to believe that incriminating evidence will be found within. While it is certainly possible that in some situations exigent circumstances to enter a home and seize an illegal firearm without a warrant may exist, there did not appear to be any such emergency in this situation.
Right,
assuming that Agent Burke was not executing a warrant, the complainant was most likely within her rights to refuse to answer the door for Agent Burke.
100%. Again, the only person I feel like that's overstepped their boundaries is this cop right here. This overzealous ass fucking.
There's a chance he may even be religious.
He's a
No.
fucking
She said that he grabbed the handle and tried to push it open.
Yeah. They said if we put it as an 8 that he's trying to break in.
Well, no,
That's
she
why I
said
thought he's working at
forcibly
58 by
grabbed the
himself. Yeah.
After holding Agent Burke for about an hour, the officers released him without charges. On December 4th, 2020,
Right.
Agent Burke filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Columbus, Officer Fahey, and Officer Winchell, alleging that, among other violations, Officers Fahey and Winchell used excessive force during the incident. According to the complaint, Agent Burke was transferred to an administrative support role within ATF after the incident because of the injuries he suffered. As of the date of this
Wow.
episode, the lawsuit is still pending. Overall, Agent Burke gets a C- because although he was likely acting within his lawful authority when the Columbus officers arrived on the scene, he refused to obey what were likely lawful orders from the officers, physically and verbally resisted the officers, and maintained an unprofessional and condescending demeanor throughout the encounter. While it is clear from the video
Can't deny
footage
that.
that Agent Burke informed the Columbus officers that he was a federal agent on multiple occasions, that statement alone does not override the officers' authority to order him to the ground until they can secure the scene. Agent Burke was armed at the time of the encounter, and it could certainly be argued that the Columbus officers just wanted to disarm him in case he was, in fact, pretending to be a federal agent. If Agent Burke had politely complied with the orders of the officers instead of blatantly refusing to get on the ground, then this interaction may have had a much different outcome. All
Very
that
true.
said, there is no denying that at least some degree of negligence took place from the Columbus officers' conduct. But Agent Burke may have had a much stronger case against them if he had been more willing to cooperate with their commands. I commend the agent for following up this interaction with the proper legal actions, but I would caution him to consider the notion that federal law enforcement authority does not trump state law enforcement authority in future encounters. The Columbus officers get an F for approaching the scene with their weapons drawn despite no immediate threat being present, neglecting to consider the facts of the encounter in an effort to gain control of the situation, and for failing to conduct a legitimate investigation into Agent Burke's identity before deciding to place him under arrest. Although the legality of the Columbus officers' commands is difficult to question, the logic behind issuing those commands is even more difficult to understand.
Because
Agent Burke's lawsuit against the
Because the reality is no matter what little mumbo jumbo legal nonsense you want to sit here and spit, the feds are always gonna do what the fuck they want to do. Like, they have proven this shit time and time again, bro. Like, I don't care what none of that mumbo jumbo legal shit.
There's claims that the woman who called the Columbus officers to the scene provided dispatch with the agent's name and badge number. And given that Agent Burke wasn't making any threatening gestures or statements when the officers arrived on the scene, it's extremely tough to comprehend why the officers responded to the call by immediately shouting commands with their weapons drawn. The Columbus officers also refused to allow Agent Burke to provide his credentials to them on multiple occasions, and seemed to display a complete disregard for the fact that Agent Burke was an ATF agent. As mentioned before, there is an argument to be made that the Columbus officers were within their authority to secure Agent Burke's firearm before investigating further. However, no practical threat existed when the officers arrived on the scene, and at no point did Agent Burke do anything to suggest that he was anything less than a federal agent attempting to carry out his duties. If the Columbus officers had merely taken the time to figure out what was going on before deciding to resort to physical force, then this interaction would likely have had a much more positive outcome. This encounter highlights the importance of de-escalation and investigation, and it will certainly be interesting to see how Agent Burke's lawsuit fares in the courtroom. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for...
That was wild. Like, see, man. That shit is nuts. Like, you can't blame the lady for just being scared, right? Like, you know, because federal agents in most cases, they come plain clothed and, you know, just nicely dressed in most cases, right? So, you know, I get it. Like, she was scared. She was like, nope, I'm not opening no fucking door. Like, I understand. Like, calling the cops was totally within her rights. Not opening the door was totally within her rights. Like, no one is even, like, batting the eye at the lady, right? Because she didn't do anything wrong. But the cops, though, like, the way that, like, we even said in the beginning, like, the way that he hopped out, like, just so fucking aggressive. It was like, whoa, play it, like, take 10 seconds and take a breath, nigga. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you could tell immediately that there was a lawsuit to be had. Like the dude said, had old boy, the federal agent, just complied a little bit, and because they was already on fucking, like, demon time, bro. They was acting like King Von in this bitch. They was ready. You know what I mean? They was ready. So I feel like even had he complied, they still would have been probably super overly aggressive. and there still was a lawsuit to kind of be had. You know what I mean? Because they were on some other type of time. Like they was doing some other shit. But yeah, I just think this whole situation started and could have been way different had the cops just pulled up differently. Like that's my only critique. I don't even blame the federal agent for getting frustrated and acting the way he did. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. Like, really? Like, come on, man. Like, put the gun away and come talk to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just, yeah. Anyways, yes, there were some things that he said, and he could have made he could have made it easier. I do get it for himself because, like I said, they were already ready to be super overly aggressive. So he could have probably avoided being tased. He was probably gonna get handcuffed and arrested. Put in the back of a car regardless, I feel like. But at the end of the day, them cops they was on some other type of shit. Anyways, you let me know what you thought about that in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!